Hi, Dr. Sandy. This is a test. I was looking at some of my data that I have, and I thought I might just play around with it in context of this discussion that we have. So, Ledford and Gast, page 198, they have kind of a flow chart. Number 5, it says analyze level, trend, and variability, stability of data across adjacent conditions. And then they list how to do that. So I thought I would go ahead and just do that. One of the things they say is level. So level here refers to the amount of behavior that occurs as indicated by the ordinate scale value and is generally described as low, medium, or high. Here was a shocker thing that occurred as I was reading. Less often, level has been described as median value, but Ledford and Gast do not recommend this in summative reporting because the small number of data points makes the mean susceptible to the outliers. And I kind of was thinking about that in the context of some data that I was working with. And here I have my my mean, I guess, for the intervention. I don't know why I carried it all the way over here. Mean for the intervention, the mean for the baseline is 3.2, the mean for the intervention is 5.7. Now, I don't feel like this is necessarily too significant, except I do have this outlier here at 15, which is bringing my mean up. So I think that's why Ledford and Gast really don't recommend using, well, I guess they're saying a median value because of outliers, which is different than mean. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I guess I'm just thinking about some of this stuff here. I didn't really look at participant 2's data. So immediacy of change, though, across adjacent conditions and the degree to which behavior change occurs as soon as the intervention is introduced. So right here I have absolutely no immediacy of change. Immediate or abrupt change would be nice to see, but delayed change, if that's determined a priori, is okay too, especially if it's consistent across the tiers. And certainly for this data here, I really can't claim really any immediacy of change. I do have a change in trend, however. I have a small change in trend where it's going actually decelerating or contratherapeutic. Then after the intervention, it moves to a slight accelerating or therapeutic trend. But there is a problem with that too, because Ledford and Gast recommend that baseline, even if contratherapeutic, the data should be collected until it's stable due to the regression to the mean, that the data is likely to improve even without an intervention. So even this is really not what I guess I would like to see as far as a change, even though it kind of supports what I'm trying to do here. Really, that's not a good thing. And this was just for an intervention that I don't think was effective that I did with 4 participants. Stability. So stability is predictability and consistency of data values within a condition or lack of fluctuations in adjacent data points. Ledford and Gast say that calculating a stability envelope is one way to quantify stability. So these pink boxes here, I actually did stability envelopes for both the baseline and the intervention, and I could say that the data is stable because if I use a stability envelope of 25%, I can say that 80% of the data is within a 25% stability window. And I can certainly say that for both. So here I would have stable data, both for the baseline and the intervention. Despite this kind of outlier here, I still do have 80% of the data points, really technically within a, 0% stability envelope, technically. So I kind of messed around with it here. If I wanted to change my stability envelopes, I would have these numbers that changed here, but 25% stability envelope works for that. So just kind of playing around with the information in this chapter and sort of looking at that between condition analysis just with some of the data that I've been playing around with lately. So kind of fun.